My name's Dan Riley. I'm a singer-songwriter from Charleston, South Carolina. Actually Summerville, but Charleston's where everybody knows. So I grew up in Rhode Island. Started writing music when I was about 13 years old. I had dyslexia growing up, so it was hard for me to learn how to play other people's music, and I learned some chords and I had my own words, so I figured I'd take the easy way out and just start writing my own stuff.
So can you tell us about when in your life you began writing songs?
Yeah, so I mean, at that age of 13, I came from a pretty musical family. My father played piano and guitar, and my brothers also played played guitar, and one of them played violin, one of them played clarinet, and so we're a pretty musical household. But it was kind of also every person for themselves. So it wasn't a lot of tutelage going on there. So every once in a while they show me a few things, but I pretty much just picked it up on my own. And yeah, I mean, you know how the teen years are. There's plenty of angst to write about, and like you think you got angst, and so I kind of used that. But I found really early on that writing music was a great way for me to kind of channel some emotions that needed to be figured out and handled in as healthy a way as possible. And so that's that's what I was trying to do, and that's still what I'm doing. Honestly.
Can you talk about a foundation of your inspiration? Is it an experience, another musician?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much musical inspiration out there. It's really hard to pick from just one. Definitely hearing my father play when I was a kid, and a lot of the Beatles and some Bob Dylan, that really kind of cemented in me my love for music. And then as I grew up, kind of exploring the different genres and what I was drawn to, I really have appreciation for pretty much all music and I love it all. But when I started playing live music, that was kind of when, like, my first experience doing that. I was like, oh wow, like this is cool. This is a way that I can share what I have to say and my experience with people, and people aren't throwing things at me, so I want to keep doing it.
Can you talk about what you've been working on here at Azule and how the residency's helping you with that?
Yeah, so I've been working on some writing. I've got one album out now, and I'm working on some work for a follow-up for that, but also I try not to box myself in too much. If I write a song and it's not right for the album, that's fine too. But so I've kind of been focused on that. I have a bit of a history going back several years ago. I left the faith that I was part of, and in doing that, my family and all my friends and everything kind of cut me out of their lives. So I've haven't had contact with them since then, and I've had to rebuild and kind of find new ways, and then new ways of doing things, and kind of really just see what the world was like outside of that life. And so a lot of the music that I've written in the past 10 years or so has really kind of helped me to work through that. But I think it's something that people can connect with, because I think it's a message of wanting to belong and to find our way, and like a message of love for people and for each other unconditionally, and just really finding out what's pure and true for me and for you and for anyone else. And so a couple of months ago my mom passed, and so that's been something that I've been working through, and so kind of exploring the ideas around grief and the connection of grief to love. The saying, grief is the shadow of love, and being able to see that connection, and also kind of tying in the feeling of joy to that too, because grief's not a linear thing. It's not something that is so. It's not really something you can control so much. You can manage it, but it comes without without expecting sometimes, and trying to remember that that's like a connection, or an indication of the love that you've had for that person, and or for people. And so that's kind of some of the subjects that I'm exploring here and tying into my new album. My first album was called Waking Up, because it was really about me, like waking up to what life was like. And then this album is probably going to be called Moving On. And so I've got several of the songs already written for it, and I think this exploration into grief is going to fit into that too.
Last question. Is there a best piece of advice you have that anyone's ever given you?
Don't accept wooden nickels. Or don't eat yellow snow. Those are my two best pieces of advice so I give my kids all the time. But there's, I mean, the best piece of advice that I can think of in this moment is that this life that we have is short, and it's really not worth being upset and aggravated and going through life with a chip on our shoulders and treating people poorly. It's just, there's so much more good in the world than there is bad. Even though there's some really horrific things going on, people in general, I believe, are good. And so if we make the effort to be compassionate and to love each other, and to incorporate that into what we're doing in the world, whether it's our job, with our family, or in our art, I think that's really one of the best things we can do. And art's also a great way to express other emotions like rage and frustration, and but when you are able to express those type of feelings that could be classified as negative at times, when you use art to do that, then it's really kind of the healthiest, I believe, the healthiest way you can do it, whether it's in song or in sculpture or in painting. And so that's really just one of the things I love about creating and writing music, and creating in other ways whenever I have a chance. So I'm gonna play a song I wrote here at Azule. One of the other artists, Jen, and I were having a conversation about some of the work that she was doing, and we found some parallels kind of in the patterns in nature and emotional patterns that we experience as humans. And so I was kind of thinking about that as I wrote this. A needle threads a page. Oh, I already messed it up.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, trim it. Needle pierces the page, threading thoughts, erasing rage, connecting roots to bones. A blackbird's calling, carry us home. A wave of lyrics on the thread, stitching landscapes in our heads. The gift of grief in our breath. reveals our love and its depth. A kissing breeze on our face, the sun's sweet touch eases the pain. A tailor's work traces the past. Here and now is where we'll last. A wave of lyrics on the thread, a stitching landscapes in our heads. The gift of grief in our breath. Reveals our love and its depth. Living through ain't easy. All the fight that it takes, giving up ain't easy. And all the hearts that it breaks, hold on with a whisper, gritted teeth and bloody palms. This life ain't one worth missing. This life ain't one worth missing. Hold on, hold on, hold on.